This Transformers 96 here with another video where I'm going to be talking about some newly shown Hot Toys figures. In this video I'm going to be talking about the Captain America Civil War Hawkeye as well as Falcon. So yeah, so these two, I really, Hawkeye was shown a couple weeks back and Falcon was shown like a week ago. These were two that when they were shown, they didn't interest me too much, so I kind of waited to do the video and was able to kind of like bundle them together. Both of these I'm not going to get purely because I have other versions of the characters and I don't find that there's anything new enough to warrant wanting a second version of. So yeah, but I still want to talk about it, so let's get started. First of all, talking about Hawkeye. I do like the Hawkeye costume. I think it is pretty interesting. I love the fact that he has one arm that's completely clothed and then one arm that's out. I think that's a really interesting and cool look. I like that a lot. His colors are nice. He's got like a really light purple, which almost looks like a blue, and then he's got a darker purple. It would have been nice to see just purple throughout it, because it does give off quite a blue vibe, which, obviously Hawkeye's signature color is purple, so it would have been cooler to get this purple that's in the abdomen right here kind of throughout up here, and then to make the pants maybe just a hint more purple. I definitely don't want him to have full purple pants, but it would be nice to have a bit more color there, obviously with his signature color being purple. That would have been kind of cool to see. But I do like this design. I think it looks quite nice. With the unsleeved arm, he does only have a hinge swivel, which is unfortunate. That's what they do though when they have joints that are exposed at the elbows. Looking like a decent figure. Looks like it reuses some pieces from the Age of Ultron Hawkeye. First of all, the head sculpt is completely just the Age of Ultron head sculpt. They haven't redone it. I believe they might have added some paint, but the sculpt itself is exactly the same. The quiver there, that looks like it's completely the same as well. I believe the arrows are of course the same. You might come with a few new arrowheads, but I think for the most part it is the same. Talking about some of the accessories here. Alright, he's going to come with a dagger and a gun, which is very exciting. Obviously, we've only seen Hawkeye use his arrows because they're his signature weapon. So it will be kind of neat to see what he does with the blade and the gun, I think the blade is perfect. I think that I could see him kind of running out of arrows and then just pulling out a blade, to attack somebody to get an arrow back or something like that. But the gun, I don't see him using the gun. I think that obviously, although it would be smart and really easy to use, it's just, kind of takes away from who he is, and I think that, Black Widow uses the gun, so I'm not too fond of that, but we'll have to see how he uses it in the movie. Comes with a pair of sunglasses, of course. Comes with the bow, quiver, arrowheads. One unique arrowhead, of course, is the one that where it's Ant-Man riding it. I think that's really cool. The little Ant-Man, looks detailed slightly, but obviously it's so small that it doesn't need much detail. But I do think that it looks quite nice, and it's really cool that they're giving us a representation in plastic of what seems to be an iconic-looking scene, at least from the trailers. It's I believe my favorite scene from the trailer, I have to say, when he shoots Ant-Man who's on the arrow, and then Ant-Man jumps off of the arrow and goes right in between the fingers of Iron Man. I think that's just such an awesome scene, so to see that kind of translated in plastic is really cool, so I am happy about that. Standard base and a few sets of hands. He's on sale for $220. I believe that's the same price as the Age of Ultron Hawkeye. If not, the Age of Ultron one was $225, so he's either the same price or $5 cheaper than the last Hawkeye. I think that this looks like a better Hawkeye than the last one. I have the first Hawkeye from the Avengers movie, which I think is the best Hawkeye. I like that costume a lot, and that's just a solid Hawkeye. I really don't need another one unless his costume just looks amazing in like Infinity War or something. But so for now, I'm definitely going to pass this one. Really not too tempting for me. But for anybody who hasn't bought Hawkeye yet, this is definitely one to get, I would say. Because he's not going to be in a movie for a couple years now. So I think this is probably the right time to buy. And in my opinion, it's a cooler design than the costume from Age of Ultron. Going over Falcon now. Falcon looks quite good, obviously. Using a similar suit, but with some new details on it. It's similar in design, however, it is a completely new suit. It does have some red on it, which is a nice callback to his comic book roots, where he is, wearing a red suit, and I like it. I think it looks quite nice. I prefer just the standard one that doesn't have red on it. I think it looks a little bit more realistic. Or as realistic as a guy with wings can get, basically. I do like the gauntlet on his left arm. I think it's really cool that his left arm has like a big gauntlet type of thing. I kind of like that, and it kind of breaks up the symmetry too, which kind of looks pretty neat. Apparently, I think that he will be able to like shoot a laser from that, because concept art did just come out with him fighting War Machine, where he is shooting a laser from the gauntlet. So unless that's just a concept art that isn't used for the film, I do believe that he will be able to do some cool stuff with that gauntlet, which is pretty neat, and I do like that a lot. He does come with a gun for the right hand. He also comes with Red Wing. Red Wing is exciting. It's obviously his mechanical drone bird, and it looks quite nice. But as far as articulation wise, it looks like he has the same basic articulation as the first Hawkeye, and the first Hawkeye had some great Falcon. Excuse me if I'm calling him Hawkeye through this. Obviously I was just talking about him, so it's kind of on my mind. But he seems to have the same articulation as the first Falcon, and that articulation was excellent, I really have to say. And it was my favorite figure of the year from Hot Toys. It was my favorite Hot Toy that I bought in 2015. So I would imagine this is going to be a great figure, but it doesn't look like it's anything too new or special from the original one, which is why I have no interest in it. However, I really did love the first Hawkeye. Falcon. So for anybody who didn't buy that Falcon, this is definitely going to be one for you to get, and I would highly recommend it. Price-wise, he's $235, which is $15 cheaper than the first Falcon, which is pretty awesome. The only differences in quality that I can see is that the first Falcon came with a light-up backpack. This one does not have lights, but it does come with Red Wing, so that kind of equals it out. And accessory-wise, they're about the same. The old Falcon came with 2 guns. This one just comes with 1. They come with the same type of base. So basically these are, I would say, exactly even, because you get, some light up features with the first one, but with this one you get Red Wing. So it equals out, I would say. Very cool looking. And there was one more thing I was going to say about this figure, but I can't even remember it. But overall looking, that's it. The wings, the articulation in the wings, I was really hoping that this new version would have some really updated, really cool articulation. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like that. It has slightly more articulation than the original one. At the base of the wing, it can fold down just like the older one. It can level out just like the older one. And the only thing that's new is it can angle up a bit. I was really hoping that it could angle up further and you could get a nice curve in it. That would have looked really nice, but unfortunately it looks like it just angles up slightly, as opposed to the older Falcon, which just leveled off. So nothing too interesting there. And they don't show the articulation at the middle part, I don't believe. Let me see if they have any picture of him using a middle joint. They do not. And from what I can see, I don't really necessarily see a cut. However, it could be well hidden, so I'm not quite sure. But the first Falcon had a wing that I obviously articulated at the base right over here, and it also had another point of articulation where you could angle it down even further. This one doesn't. I don't see that though. So there is a possibility that his wings are slightly less articulated than the original ones, or you could say that they are about even, since they do have an extra, being able to go up slightly. So that is definitely a shame if they did take away that middle wing articulation. But who knows? We'll have to see when it comes out. I would highly recommend getting Falcon if you don't have the first one. With Hawkeye, this is a nice one to get. I don't think that it's the best one on the market, and it's nothing super iconic, so I wouldn't, recommend it for an iconic stance or anything like that. But we'll have to see. They both look like decent figures, but nothing too special over the previous releases, basically. So there you go. That's my video of just talking about the new Civil War Hawkeye as well as Falcon. Thanks so much for watching, and let me know what you guys think of these figures.